Welcome back to Keep It Real Boxing. This is Cypher Box. Okay, so Amir Khan has recently made done some interviews and stated that Brook has agreed to fight Amir Khan at 147 pounds. He's agreed to come down to welterweight. He's also stated that Brook has agreed to a 10-pound rehydration clause in the contract, meaning that come the night of the fight, Brook cannot come in any heavier than 157 pounds. All right. Now, Brook had something to say about that. As you could expect, Brook, these two don't like each other. We know that. But it's good to hear that we're finally hearing some progress in terms of a negotiation, in terms of negotiations for this fight potentially happening. But Brook didn't leave it at that. He went to social media and he basically put this out on Instagram and on Twitter, from what I understand. And it reads, "Please, Mr. Brook, don't rehydrate and hurt me. This diva still thinks he's a celebrity and in the jungle, rationing what I can eat. At Amir Khan, I'll weigh in at 147 and then eat whatever I like." Yeah, and it says, at the bottom it says, hashtag too shook for Brook. Now, we all know why this fight is probably potentially going to be made. It's because Amir Khan doesn't have anywhere else to go. All right, he was hoping for a fight with Manny Pacquiao. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. Apparently, there's rumors. I haven't been following that story particularly well, but there's rumors that Pacquiao might be fighting Adrian Broner and then on to Mayweather, or the other way around. But either way, he's not getting Manny Pacquiao. He's not going to take on Errol Spence Jr. or Keith Thurman or, a Sean Porter or Danny Garcia or anyone like that. He's looking for a fight where he can make money. Yeah, and no, I can't knock him for that. That's what a fight. At the end of the day, boxing isn't just something that these guys do. It's their livelihood, so they have to make money. I understand that. Yeah, so he's got to go after the next best option, which is a big, massive domestic grudge match with Brook. If he had options with Manny Pacquiao or even Floyd Mayweather, he would be taking those options. Yeah, and he would. We've seen it over the last few years. He's done everything he possibly can to avoid Brook. He's put all these stipulations in the way. Oh, he's not a big enough star. Oh, go win a world title. He won a world title. Oh, end of the day, I'm the A side, and all this sort of stuff nonsense. Even with the Triple G stuff. He stepped up. He fought Triple G. I didn't agree with that fight necessarily, but then he said, oh, if he beats Errol Spence Jr. after that, then I'll fight him. And obviously, lost that fight. So it's like there was always reasons he was putting in the way of this fight potentially happening, right? And more recently, he's shown signs that he doesn't want the fight. When after his fight with Phil LaGreco, saying that, oh, I fight at 147 pounds, Kel's at 154, he'll have to come down to me, all this sort of stuff. He probably thought that Kel wouldn't come down to 147 pounds, yeah? But the funny thing is, he says, I don't fight at catchweight, I fight at 147, that's where I'm at my best, etc., and all that sort of stuff. And at the same time, the funny thing is, he fought Phil LaGreco at a catchweight of 150 pounds. This is a guy who changes his tune so quickly. So when he was due to fight Canelo, in the build-up, the whole build-up, he was saying, oh, I'm naturally a 160 pounder. I walk around at 160. I actually struggled to make it to welterweight, stuff, blah, 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 etc. Yeah. And then when it came to his interview after the fight, after he got knocked clean out, in the 6th round of that fight, he started saying that, oh, I'm actually naturally a 147 pounder. I thought I could do it, and I clearly couldn't. He changes his tune straight away. And it's the same thing here with Brook. He's happy to fight Phil LaGreco at a catchweight of 150 pounds, but he's not willing to go up to 150 pounds to fight Brook at a catchweight, and you can see the idea behind it. What he's trying to do. He's trying to weight drain because he knows Kel's going to struggle. Brook really struggles to make 147 pounds. It's the reason why he's moved up to 154, right? He can't fight at 147 anymore. He struggles with that weight. But the whole idea is, all right, well, come down to me at 147 if you really want this fight. Weight drain him. Perhaps get the advantage over Brook. from a strength and power point of view in terms of on the night of the fight, you know, trying to get as much as he can in his favor. Clearly, the 10 pound rehydration clause, so Kell can't rehydrate massively overnight. Again, everything to benefit and give Amir Khan the advantage. So that's what he's doing. He wants everything in his favor, virtually everything in his favor. Yeah, because, you know, I think I agree with him. You know, where he just said, you know, hashtag too shook for Brook. I think Kell Brook is the one fighter, Amir Khan, in my opinion. I don't know if he necessarily fears him, but he has this thing about Kell where he probably thinks about Kell and thinks, this guy potentially has my number. I don't know if I can actually beat this guy. This is where one fight where he looks at a fighter and thinks and doubts himself a little bit, if that makes sense. So that plays into your psyche and into your mind to the point where you will do everything to avoid the fight. And if you really have to make the fight, you're going to make sure everything's in your favor, if that makes sense. And that's what I think Amir Khan's doing here. And I think Kell Brook's thinking, I'm just going to have to agree to this guy, you know, agree to the things he wants to make this fight happen. We know Kell Brook has wanted this fight for years now. Yeah, he's been calling out Amir Khan for a long time. He's very confident he could beat Amir Khan. You know, I don't think I've ever seen a moment where I've doubted that Kell Brook wanted this fight. So I think Kell's at that point where he's like, all right, look, there's only one way I'm going to get this guy in the ring. You know, and don't get me wrong, Kell knows that there's a lot of money involved in this fight from a pay-per-view point of view here in the UK. So, of course, he wants to make sure the fight happens as well for his own point of view, for his own financial gain as well as a fighter, and there's no doubt about that. But, you know, he also knows that, hey, look, if this is what it takes to get this guy in the ring, fine, let's do it. You know, I'll give him all the advantages, I'll agree to things that he wants, and you know what, let's get the fight on, because I'm still confident I can beat this guy. You know, and that's the difference in terms of mentality, in my opinion, between the two fighters. Is that I feel Amir Khan, he's not too sure about himself in the ring against Kell Brook, whereas I think Kell Brook's a lot more confident about, you know, getting a win against Amir Khan. That's just my opinion. Now, before I finish the video, I kind of want to quickly touch on this tweet that you see on the screen. Now, basically, you may have heard, like I said earlier on, I've heard rumours that Manny Pacquiao may be fighting Adrian Broner, but I've also heard the rumours that Floyd Mayweather might be fighting Adrian Broner out in Japan or something like that. Like I said, I haven't followed that story well enough to give you all the details. I'm just telling you things that I've heard here and there. Okay, but you'll see the tweet on the screen. I'll leave it up there for you guys to read at your own time. I'll leave it up there for a while for you guys. But basically, he's again, you know, accusing Floyd Mayweather of ducking him and having a dig, and, you know, at Floyd Mayweather that, you know, you've never fought me because my style's too dangerous or too risky for you, whatever you want to call it. Rumor has it that it wasn't actually him who put this tweet together, it was his wife who put this tweet together. Rumor has it. Remember, I'm not saying this is for definite. Maybe that was before, you know, this must have been before, you know, the story leaked about him trying to hook up with the transgender model. You know what, that story, I don't know what to make of that story, if I'm honest with you as well. You know, usually I don't buy into all that stuff that you hear in the media and stuff like that, but it's funny with Amir Khan, you can't help think to yourself that there may be a little truth to that. You never know. He's done some strange things when it comes to social media, and, you know, I think there was that sex tape years ago, and then, you know, the way he I suppose disrespected his wife, you know, when they were having problems, and they split up temporarily, accusing her of, you know, cheating with, or not cheating because they split up, but accused her of sleeping with Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua apparently came back and said he was going to take legal action if he didn't apologize for what he said, and Amir Khan then obviously apologized. So, you know, Amir Khan, when it comes to his personal life, you know, he really does put all his stuff out there. I don't understand why he does that, but hey, look, that's his issue, I suppose. But, you know, I don't know how much I buy into all of it, or how much I don't believe it, or I do believe it, but it's a strange one. I don't understand what Amir Khan is thinking when he does these things. But anyway, look, moving on back to what we were saying here. All right, now he says that he's still accusing Floyd Mayweather of ducking him and stuff like that, etc, etc. Now, I've said in the past, you know, that I feel Amir Khan probably hasn't, since his loss to Danny Garcia, he hasn't managed his career right. you know, in terms of who he's fought, when he's fought them, right? So I'm quickly going to run through Amir Khan's record, his boxing record, since he lost to Danny Garcia. Now, obviously prior to that, he lost to Lamont Peterson. He was supposed to have a rematch with Lamont Peterson, but as we know, Lamont Peterson tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug. I believe it was testosterone. You know, before Lamont Peterson, he fought Zab Judah. There was Marcus Maidana, Paulie Malignaggi, you know, even Antonio Barrera. And, you know, you felt like he was starting to build his way to a level where he may one day potentially fight someone like Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao if he continued that way. Then he fought Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia stepped in for Lamont Peterson for the Lamont Peterson rematch, lastminute.com, and I suppose it was a bit of they thought it was going to be a cakewalk. And Danny beat him. We know that. He stopped him. Was it the 4th round? He then came back and fought Carlos Molina, who was a fighter. He pulled up a weight class. Don't get me wrong, I understand that fight. It was a confidence boosting fight. The guy was a lot smaller than Amir, etc. and stuff like that. But it was a confidence boosting fight to rebuild his confidence after he got knocked out by Danny Garcia. He then goes on and fights Julio Diaz, who was at the end part of his career, let's face it, on his way out. And Julio Diaz even knocked Amir Khan down in that fight, if I remember right. He then goes on and fights Luis Collazo. At this point, that's when that whole talk with Mayweather was going on. He wanted to fight Mayweather, etc. and stuff like that. Now, remember, if I go into, give me a second. If I go into Devin Alexander's box rec, give me a second while it brings it up. Now, Devin Alexander he lost his, at the time, he was, when this whole thing was going on with Mayweather, Devin Alexander was the IBF world champion, if I remember right. Okay? And you know, he was due to fight Amir Khan. I can't remember what year it was. He was due to fight Amir Khan in December for that world title. Amir Khan pulled out that fight because he didn't want to ruin his chances with a potential fight happening with Floyd Mayweather the following May the following year. All right, which didn't make sense to me. You had enough time to train, fight Devin Alexander, pick up the IBF belt, and then had another 4 months after that, or 5 months after that, whatever it was, to train and prepare for Floyd Mayweather if a fight with Floyd Mayweather was going to happen. But he decided to put himself on the shelf, wait out for this Floyd Mayweather fight, and in the end I think Mayweather went and fought someone else anyway. So I don't understand why you wouldn't give up the opportunity for a world title in that situation, you know, when you had plenty of time to challenge for that world title, win that world title, and then go on and fight Floyd Mayweather if that fight potentially, you know, was made. So again, I don't understand some of his decision making in terms of his career. I thought that was personally, I thought that was a poor choice on his part, because it proved to be one later on. Because later on down the line, he did fight Devin Alexander, and by this time, Devin Alexander had already lost that IBF belt to Sean Porter. So you fought Devin Alexander anyway, but this time you fought him without a title on the line. Do you see what I mean? It doesn't make sense, the things that he's done. He then fought Chris Algieri, let's be honest. He then did this whole thing, stepping up to fight Canelo Alvarez, which was a massive mistake. He lost the fight. I always said when it came to that fight, he will probably win the rounds in that fight. But eventually, Canelo will close the gap, close the distance, and land that one sweet shot and knock him out. And I did say, I predicted back then, I didn't have my YouTube channel back then, but I did say back then to all my friends, I said, watch, he's going to get knocked out in the 6th round. He'll win the rounds, but he'll get knocked out around the 5th or the 6th round, I guarantee you. And that's exactly what happened. He then, after that, he takes 2 years. He's had a couple of years off, injuries and stuff like that. He's come back and fought Phil LaGreco. And obviously, his last fight was against Samuel Vargas, where he got knocked down in that fight. Let's not forget that. Yeah. So when you look at that, I don't understand where this ego and this arrogance of Amir Khan comes from. In terms of the sense of he believes he's a superstar, he believes he belongs up there with Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao and stuff like that. It doesn't make sense to me. You know, I don't understand, you know, where his mentality comes from, because when you look at his record since Danny Garcia, he's literally done nothing. He hasn't fought anyone notable. And yeah, you may say the Canelo fight, but come on, let's be honest, that was a complete mismatch, and you know it. And I think he got paid $6.5 million or something for that fight. So it was clearly a money fight. His management, in my opinion, his management team didn't take, you know, good care of him in that situation, because you put a guy in there, he got knocked out, and it's affected his career even more, because he had to take 2 years out for injury. I would assume there was definitely some psychological effects from that knockout. There would have been when it comes to Amir Khan. But look, end of the day, I just feel since the Danny Garcia loss, I don't feel he's done enough to start screaming out, I want Floyd Mayweather, I want Manny Pacquiao. You know, and why he keeps crying about it. Floyd didn't give you an opportunity back then, he's not going to give you an opportunity now. Yeah? And not only that, Manny Pacquiao clearly has other ideas. Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, they're old fighters now. They're at the end of their career. The only time those boys are going to keep coming back is when there's opportunity to make money. And they see an opportunity to make money with each other again in a rematch. Yeah, they're both, you know, looking. Floyd definitely has said that he's looking for a tune-up. He's gonna take someone like an Adrian Broner, someone that who's gonna trash talk and sell the fight with him. You know how Floyd works. At this point in Floyd Mayweather's career, it's all about business. What makes sense from a business point of view, not necessarily from a fight, maybe from a fan-friendly point of view, if that makes sense. So stop chasing these guys. You've got a few good years left probably inside of you. Go after the other welterweights in the division. You know. You're going to take on Kell Brook. Personally, I think it would be more fair if they fought at 150 pounds a catch weight, because that's fair to Kell Brook. They meet each other in the middle. If you beat Kell, go on fight, you know, Keith Thurman, Porter, etc. and stuff like that. But you know what? I don't think Amir Khan's going to do that. I think Amir Khan, in my personal opinion, he's at the end of his career. He knows that. He's looking for a few more paydays. That's why he wanted the Manny Pacquiao fight. That's why he would love to have the Floyd Mayweather fight. If he got one of those two fights and he made loads of money off it, we wouldn't see Amir Khan again, I think. You know, but he knows he's not going to get that fight, so he thinks, let me go to the next best thing, which is Kell Brook. I can make a lot of money domestically with that fight. So, you know, in my opinion, Amir Khan, I think, needs to at some point start being realistic of where he is with his career, and start being a bit realistic and taking responsibility for the poor decisions he's made in his career. That's just the way I see it, guys. Yeah, this ain't hate or anything like that. You know, a lot of people jump on my channel thinking I'm hating on fighters and stuff like that. I don't do that. I'm just a boxing fan giving my opinion. You know, you either agree with it or you don't agree with it. You either like it or you hate it. Either way, you know, from my point of view, it's just me giving you my honest, straight up opinion when I'm talking about fighters. And that's how I feel about Amir Khan. I had, you know, a fangirl, Amir Khan fangirl, jump on my last video when I did a Fight Night Rewind on his, when I reviewed and analysed his performance against Samuel Vargas. And, you know, started going on about, you know, oh, he's the... it's the highest viewership on free TV or whatever that, you know, that any fighter's ever had in the UK, and, you know, his fight against Samuel Vargas. All right, yeah, listen, I never said people don't tune in to watch Amir Khan. I've never said that. Of course people tune in to watch Amir Khan, but you have to ask the question, why do they tune in to watch Amir Khan? I know why I tune in to watch Amir Khan, because, yeah, you're going to get drama. You're going to think to yourself, will Amir Khan get knocked down today? That's what a lot of people do. A lot of people say, yeah, I'm going to tune in. I want to see if he gets knocked out. I'm going to tune in to see if he gets knocked down. There's a lot of fans out there who come out there and support Amir Khan, of course, because they're fans of Amir Khan. I understand that. But there's a lot of people out there who tune in to watch Amir Khan to see what drama unfolds. Will he get knocked down? Will his chin get caught? Will he get knocked out? You know, that kind of thing. So remember, those viewership numbers are high, but that doesn't mean because those are a whole load of boxing fans, Amir Khan fans tuning in to see Amir Khan. Those are a mixture of Amir Khan fans and a lot of boxing fans who want to see a bit of entertainment and are tuning in to see, you know, is his chin going to hold up on this fight? You know, and that's another thing with Amir Khan. You know, he doesn't learn. You know, he worked with Virgil Hunter for so long. You'd think he would have improved his defensive capabilities in the ring. You know, it's frustrating to watch. He makes the same mistakes. That's how he got that knockdown that he received, you know, in the fight against Samuel Vargas, was near enough carbon copy to the way Canelo knocked him out in the 6th round of their fight. You know, leaning back, chin in the air, hands down, boom, open target, down you go. You know, if you want to put, like, he's got a suspect jaw, we know that. Yeah. You can't make your jaw any stronger, if, you know, or more punch resistant. So the best thing you could do is improve your defensive capabilities. So, you know, that's something he should work on, but maybe it's too late in his career. You know, Amir Khan's a gunslinger by nature. He likes to throw 5, 6, 7, 8 punches, combinations together, and he leaves himself vulnerable when he does that as well. So, look, in my opinion, I don't think personally that, you know, Amir Khan should be concentrating on Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao. Concentrate on Kell Brook. If you get past Kell Brook and you're serious about your career and you really want to be a world champion, then go chase those other young fighters out there. You know, even have a fight against Danny Garcia. You know, avenge your loss to Danny Garcia. You know, fight, you know, the likes of Errol Spence Jr. You want to be great? Go and take on that guy, because that, you know, Errol Spence Jr. is considered by most as the #1 welterweight on the planet. Some people see Keith Thurman as the #1 welterweight on the planet. Whatever your opinion is, there are other names out there that Amir Khan can have big fights with, you know, and he'll get more credit for taking on those opponents rather than chasing these old warriors, like, you know, these old names, so should I say, like, you know, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, who are at the end of their career and looking to make big money fights and get those final paydays in. That's just my opinion. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it, you know, for now. I could go on about this all day long. That's just my opinion. That's where I stand when it comes to Amir Khan. As always, guys, like, share and subscribe. Until next time, this is Cypherbox reminding you to keep it real.